So my name is Nina Kolbeck and I'm an associate at Gustafson Porter Bowman, and I live with my partner and two boys in a very small flat in North London, and the boys are 3 and 6. So that has been a challenge, and the big thing that we have had to pick up is the childcare, of course, and try to somehow fit in a day things that others would not. But there has been some really nice things with that. So before, we never used to have really meals together as a family during the weeks, and now we've had almost every meal together, and that has been really nice. But then in terms of the space we have and what we've tried to do in the space, especially when it was lockdown, that didn't really work, and there's been some tensions within the space, I would say. And what I've been worried about is more to do, so my partner had COVID and I was a bit worried then, and we didn't know how that was going to go, and then sort of the shorter term, like the emotional and psychological impact on the children more than anything, I think. And then more than looking at the future so much, because it's so uncertain, it's almost impossible to even think about. So you had to kind of think just the immediate, like, okay, now we can go to the park for a bit longer. It has to be a really step-by-step process to get back into something that feels a little bit better and more relaxed, I think. And then in terms of my work, so the interesting thing that I have really discovered during this time is the importance of doorstep green. So I think everybody has kind of appreciated what is immediately around your house or flat or where you live. That kind of sense of just being able to step out onto something, and then you can kind of reconnect with your neighbours, and it's much more about, otherwise you're so busy going to other places. But during this time you actually just have to rediscover what you can do in a very small green space very close to your house, and many different uses there, and what you can do in a little flat. We've grown butterflies and seeds and made our own Play-Doh, and then we've been out in the park with different balls. It's just coming up with new uses for the same space instead of rushing to another space. And then the other key thing, I think, is this connecting green spaces. So to be able to go for a long cycle ride and not have any cars. So you need the doorstep green, and then you need the connecting spaces, and that's key. I think I really do hope what comes after this in terms of my profession is that this is going to be in the forefront of all the planning, that otherwise cities cannot work if this doesn't exist for the people that live there. We can't cram more and more taller buildings in without giving the space back, and it needs to be green space, because squares and retail hasn't really helped during the lockdown. And then the other thing in terms of the working environment and the flexibility, I think, is that thing that we would like to keep, which would be not that everybody has to come at the same time and leave at the same time. That actually come across as being a little bit, why were we all doing that afterwards? Many of the things that you think, oh, you can't do this, but actually as it turns out, yes you can. And I think that's the thing that, in the longer terms, I hope will stay.